Hi, greetings everybody. It's David Bell here, coming to you from Waiheke Island in New Zealand. It's almost with a slight sense of guilt that I'm actually here in this place, but I should tell you I came here purely through good fortune. Was invited to a conference to speak in New Zealand, and then as things started to get difficult in the rest of the world, decided to stay on as I still hold the New Zealand passport. So a couple of things I've been thinking about that I really wanted to share with you, and just a little bit of background and lens on that. So my main day job is thinking about digital transformation in the consumer space as an investor. I also spent 20 years at the Wharton School teaching MBA and undergraduate students principles of business and transformation. And some time ago, wrote a book called Location is Still Everything, about physical and virtual world relationships. So I guess this is rather an irony that I'm in the location where I am. So two things that you may have been experiencing or thinking about, certainly two things that have hit me from a professional point of view. And the first really, I think, relates to some of the years I spent in academia and seeing what's going on in the education space, which is clearly a space that's ripe for tremendous change and tremendous improvement. So with that, I'll call that first change something I think about as a results over resume. So what do I mean there? So by resume, I mean any sort of credential, any kind of signaling, like staying late at the office, any kind of brand or label that you may have personally, or a company or organization that you work for. I think what we're seeing with the work from home phenomenon is people just really have to get things done, and it's clear who's getting things done and who's not. And that was not really as evident before when we operated within certain structures like brand name business schools, large organizations, FaceTime at offices, and so on. So I think it's tremendous actually that the productivity that we're realizing also at a gain sometimes to our personal lives. We can spend more time with our families, less time commuting, and less time doing things that are otherwise unproductive and perhaps detrimental. So that's the first professional thing that I'm thinking about a lot, and what the opportunities are that come out of that. Secondly, I'd say I think a lot about solutions versus status quo. So a lot of us have had to search for solutions. My favorite meme at the moment is people baking bread on the internet, because you may not be able to get basic food supplies in certain parts of the country or certain parts of the world. So really thinking through, gee, how do I go about getting something done, as opposed to just a status quo behavior that we all engage in professionally and also as end consumers, without really thinking about what quote unquote might be the optimal way to do things. And I really believe that a number of these things will be sticky. So for example, perhaps food preparation at home becomes a bigger thing. Perhaps online learning becomes even bigger than it was before. Work from home creates all kinds of opportunities with respect to security and other issues that need to be managed. So those are the two sort of mega trends I'm trying to think through. And then the third one is more personal, so I thought it would be appropriate to share that. I think this is a great time just to reflect not only on where you want to be, mostly with your family and your friends, where do you physically want to live, and what kind of environment, if you have the option and the good fortune to be able to choose. And secondly, how does one really want to spend time? And I think we're going to see a great sort of turn to thinking about locally where we want to be, and being present locally where we are. And hopefully if we all do that, that also leads to a great contribution overall to our communities. So again, thanks for listening. I hope this was somewhat encouraging, and happy to be here, and look forward to seeing many of you soon in person. Thank you.